Hey guys, how's it going? Today we are going to be working mostly in the kitchen with the lemons that we harvested last night. But first, I do want to give you an update on the 3 trays of perennials that we started from seed 17 days ago. We have a tray of columbine, a tray of teucrium or germander, and a tray of echinacea purpurea. Things are looking just about how I would expect them to look at this point. So we've got our echinacea purpurea right here, and I counted 35 seedlings so far out of a tray of 72. So we're just about halfway there. It usually takes echinacea upwards of 21 days to germinate, so they still have time for some more to show up. And there are a few cells where there are multiple seeds that have come up, so we'll be able to separate those. This next tray, I did not realize it takes teucrium upwards of a month or maybe even longer to germinate. However, there are 2 little ones in the same cell, which is kind of weird. That of all of them that would sprout so far in 17 days, those 2 did. Nothing else in this tray yet, so we'll just wait and be patient on this one. And then this tray, we have the columbine, which we have a ton of activity going on here. Usually takes between 21 and 28 days for these to germinate, so these are major overachievers. Now, something odd I've noticed is that we have a little bit of a hot spot. It's kind of like a circle shape right here. So these 2 cells or packs and these 2 packs dry out quicker than anything else. And I don't have them on heat mats, so I don't know how that even makes sense. But we'll see. I've been doing my best trying to keep them all moist, and we'll just keep waiting. You never know. They could sprout still. So given the time they've all been in their trays, I'm actually very happy with how things are going. I mean, the columbine, I didn't expect to see them really even yet. So seeing this much green in here is wonderful. Echinacea purpurea always seems to grow like this for me. Like half of it will sprout, and then I will start seeing them sporadically come up, like even sometimes way later than I expect them to. Like I'll kind of give up on a cell, and then lo and behold, a couple days later, there'll be something that has sprouted there. So it's just good to be patient. Now, teucrium is a brand new one to me. The other day I was looking at this tray thinking, maybe the seed are bad. Then I started reading and realized that they take a long time to germinate. I do have extra seeds though. I can always reseed if they come up spotty or if I have a hard time getting them to germinate. So I don't know. And I didn't even look to see if they need a cold period. It's possible they might need to. So in that case, what I could do is reseed and put this whole tray in the cold frame of the Hartley, let them have their cold period, and then bring them out a little bit later to germinate. So we still have time to do that. Kind of one of the benefits of starting some of these perennials earlier. My goal with this was to have them up and going so that we could pot them up into larger size containers so that we could be working with larger size plants with a more established root system come spring, because they're much easier to keep alive and watered and happy in the landscape once we plant them out if they're a little bit bigger. Anyway, wanted to give you that update. So with the lemons that we harvested last night, we are going to be canning homemade lemonade concentrate. I was thinking through all the different ways, and I even Googled different ways to preserve lemons, and we just don't go through lemons very often in our house. I know every house is different, but I actually don't like the flavor of lemon in fish and chicken and stuff like that all that much. I like it in desserts on occasion, but I'm not like a huge, like the lemon cake that we just made. My mom actually made that cake today for some guests that she's having come over, with my amendment of not making as much glaze and only drizzling it over, not pouring it over like I did. And I would never make it as a poke cake. I saw that comment a lot, like poking holes in it and letting the glaze seep in. That would make it so sweet. At least with the way I made it before, the glaze kind of stopped on top and you were able to kind of eat around it and eat the interior of the cake. Anyway, that lemon cake was delicious, and I will save that recipe. But we do make a lot of what my family calls ditch water. It's kind of a amped up, maybe, I don't know if that's the right word, version of an Arnold Palmer. It's a lemonade concentrate, and then you steep tea with spearmint though. So we add that additional herbal flavor in there. So it's a spearmint lemonade tea sort of drink, and it's so good in the summertime when we have fresh spearmint going on out in the garden. So I think that we'll actually go through the lemonade concentrate, and that's the thing about canning and about growing a garden. You always want to start with things that you will actually consume. Otherwise, you put in a ton of work, and if you don't end up either eating it out of your garden or eating it after you've canned it, then you feel like it was a little bit of a waste. So anyway, I'm excited for this because I've never canned lemonade concentrate before. I'm leaving the lids off of the columbine and the echinacea at the moment, just to give them a little bit more air during the day, and then I put the dome back on for the evening. I'm also going to zest all the lemons before we juice them. so that we could freeze some of the zest, because I do like using that in some recipes. But I've got everything out in the kitchen, canning stuff. I got my jars sterilized. I think the biggest time consuming part is going to be the zesting part of these lemons. We'll see how many I make it through before I call it. Look at all of these gorgeous lemons. You'll notice some look a little bit weird, like almost dirty. These are the pink lemonade variety right here. And then the rest of them are off the 2 other trees. I did leave, I want to say like 10 or 15 on the trees that weren't quite ripe yet. But boy, sitting in here overnight, these are so soft. I hope we get 6 cups of juice out of these. I don't know. The recipe I'm using calls for 6 cups of lemon juice. I hope I get that much out of these lemons. We'll see. And then also sugar and water. And we're supposed to yield 7 pints. And then with a 1 pint jar of this lemonade concentrate, you usually want to do like 3.5 jars of water added to the concentrate to dilute it to the right taste of lemonade, but that's completely personal preference. You might want to add a little more water or a little less if you like it a little more tart. Anyway, we've got our stock pot out to put all of our stuff in, and we're supposed to bring it up to just about 190 degrees, not over, because if it goes over, I guess something in the lemon juice can sort of like clump up, and it's not like bad, but it just doesn't look very good in the jars. You can still can it and you can still use it, but it will not have that very clear look to it. So hopefully we nail this recipe. And we do a water bath for 15 minutes. So I actually need to get this full. I don't have this full of water yet. We need to do that and get this going before we even start any of this other stuff. Also, we need to zest. So we'll fill the stock pot, get these all zested, and then we'll start juicing them. This kitchen is about to smell really good. I think I'm gonna set up at the table with my zester and my lemons, because this process is gonna take a little while. Put a movie on my phone. Sounds pleasant. Let's do that. Look at that pile of zest. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to just scoot it out into a even layer, and we'll pop it in the freezer. Okay, so now I need to juice all of these lemons, and I'm just using my citrus squeezer thing right here. It did come with a little cup attached so that you could squeeze your citrus and then pour it out, which is super handy. I got this at Williams-Sonoma years ago. But I'm just going to juice all the lemons right into this fine mesh sieve right here, and then into our 4-cup measuring cup. This will take care of any pulp and stuff that comes through that we don't want, or seeds. Yeah, so this part shouldn't take as long as the zesting. Okay, we got our 6 cups of lemon juice, and it's smelling so amazing in here. But the funny thing is, I went through that pile of lemons and some of them kind of had an off color, like they were almost a little bit on the greenish yellow side. So I just went through and picked out the really nice looking lemons to zest. I really wanted it to be that really saturated color. And I just juiced all of the lemons that I zested, and that made exactly 6 cups of juice. How does that happen? I am highly suspicious that one of those lemon trees is actually a lime. And if I remember back and probably potted it in a video, I should try to find the video, I think it is a lime. So I think we've got a pink lemonade lemon, a Meyer lemon, and a lime. This is the pile I was left with, so you can see the color. It's just not as nice. And these kind of had like a lot of marks on them, and I didn't really want to zest anything that had that. I do think that these two are lemons. Those look an awful lot like what we just worked with, but I went ahead and cut one open. And look at the interior. That's a lime. That is not a lemon. It's a beautiful green, definitely has a lime smell. And then I went ahead and cut open one of the pink lemonade lemons to show you what the interior of those look like. Aren't they pretty? And when we went out and took a look at these trees, the pink lemonade, which these, let's see, I've got a few in here. These are all the pink lemonades. They usually have green variegation or green striping, and it takes them longer to ripen. These are a little bit bigger than the lemons I got off my Meyer lemon. And this particular tree is in full bloom, and it's pushing new growth right now, which is weird, but they sure are pretty. Anyway, I'm glad that we ended up with just enough lemons, I mean, plus those 2 right there, for the juice we needed, because I would have started cutting into limes. And I don't really want to have a pinkish tint to this juice. I want it to be yellow. So we've got our 6 cups of lemon juice in the pot. I'm going to measure out 6 cups of water and add it in. And then we're going to add our sugar, which is 6 cups of sugar. Lemons are super tart. I don't really want an overly tart lemonade, so I'm just going to follow the recipe. I got online and I looked at the Ball. It's like ballmasonjars.com. They have a recipe for canning strawberry lemonade, which sounded really good. So I kind of used that as my guide a little bit. And then I found another recipe on preservedhome.com, which I haven't been on that website a lot, but that's the exact recipe I'm following because they did a canned lemonade only. It wasn't a strawberry lemonade. And it's 6 cups water, 6 cups lemon juice, 6 cups sugar. It's a really easy recipe to remember. So we're going to heat all of that up until the sugar's dissolved, until it reaches about 190. And then we are going to ladle that into hot jars. So I did fill this with water. I'm going to put my jars in there while I'm cooking this right here so that we can take the jars out and then put the juice in while it's still really hot. We'll leave a 1/4 inch of headspace, and then we are going to put them back in our water bath canner for 15 minutes. We want to make sure there's at least 1 inch of water above the jars to process them. And that's it. So this part, I think this part's gonna go pretty quick. I'm so excited. See what it tastes like. Oh, that's still tart. A really good concentrate though. Well, I've got 6 jars of our lemonade concentrate in the canner right now. First time this has ever happened. I put the jar down in the canner and it just like the water started bubbling more and frothing. I thought, oh, maybe I didn't get a seal tight enough on one of them. So, or a lid tight enough. So I picked them all up and this one just lost its bottom. So I've got 6 in there processing right now. Hopefully those 6 remain okay. We'll see what happens. All right, set my timer for 15 minutes. Oh, also it made 7 pints plus this much more. So I'm gonna dilute this and we'll have a little bit of this with dinner. Oh, one of them already sealed just now. They've been out of the water bath for about 10 seconds and 2 of the jars have already sealed. That's awesome. Oh, there goes another one. That's 3 out of 6. So 6 out of 7 of the jars made it out. 3 of them have sealed so far, so we'll wait on the other 3. Oh, did you hear that? There was another one.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I heard it. I kind of heard it, but not really.
Yeah?
I did hear it.
You did hear it? You kind of have to be paying attention. It looks like this one's sealed. So we're just waiting on the back 2 now. The only thing prettier is if we could put a slice of lemon in there. Bet you we could. Not now, but maybe next time. Also, I have never ever had a jar break in the canner before. Good news is it doesn't affect the other jars that are in the canner, which is great. It usually happens if you're putting a cold jar into a hot water bath. But as you know, I brought the jars up to temperature. I had them in there for quite a long time while the lemonade was cooking and the sugar was dissolving. And then we ladled the hot lemonade into the hot jars and put them in the hot water bath canner. So there must have been a crack in that jar that I just didn't see. So that is a first for me. But now I'm gonna mix up a little bit. I added a little bit of water. It's still way too tart. So I'm gonna put some ice in this cup. Do you wanna try it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see if our ice machine works. Oh, it does. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it does. Yeah, it's in the mood today.
I hope it's not tart. The first one to try a pizza was good. The pizza was good making for lunch today.
Oh my gosh, Benjamin.
What's up, cup?
Try that.
Okay.
Is that good? I just had everyone try it and they all gave it their seal of approval. So I'm so excited about this. This is so fun. It looks like we're still waiting on those last 2 jars to seal, but this recipe is definitely one I would recommend. I mean,
I really want a jar. I really want
you can have that.
whole thing.
The whole thing. Enjoy it, babe.
Yes, I will.
Good. I'm also in the middle of making dinner. I was peeling potatoes while the lemonade was cooking, just trying to multitask while I was in here. So anyway, we're gonna have mashed potatoes and gravy with beef tips and steamed broccoli, pears, and croissants. It should be pretty good. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you ever have an excess of lemons, definitely, and you like lemonade, definitely give this recipe a try. So much fun to know that my homegrown lemons made this lemonade. Oh! Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Oh, it popped. 1 left to go. And then with the seedlings, I just wanted to make sure that we're going out there from time to time so you can see some progress on what they're doing. I mean, especially with the 2 gram, since I've never started that one from seed before. That'll be interesting. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.